Hello dear students, here I am back with second session of social and political life. First chapter on equality. I hope all are fine there. Before we start with the session, let's recollect what we learned in last session. We have learned what is equality. Equality, rights to vote. Other kinds of equality we learn it with the story of Mr. Om Prakash Valmiki and Mr. and Mrs. Ansari. And we learned recognizing dignity. Now let's start with our today's session with the new topic, that is equality in Indian democracy. The constitution of our country tells which part of our country has to walk the path on which our country will be strong and the people will be good for its people and the people will be happy in our country, will become a strong country. The constitution of our country sees everyone as an equal. It does not mean that all people are equal. Our constitution sees everyone equally, but the discrimination that exists in the society has been going on for thousands of years, and even today the society has to try the same way that equality comes. After the implementation of the constitution of our country, what are the difference has been made? At first, on the basis of one's gender, or on the basis of the religion, or on the basis of the caste, on any basis. If someone has discriminated, some bad treatment, or if a crime was done, there was no law earlier to protect people from the discrimination or from that crime. But after the constitution of our country, then there is a law that can help those people. At least there is strength built within the people after getting the law that yes, there is a law. How much benefit they get from the law with use is a different thing. But now at least the country has such laws. Let us now discuss what all laws and policies constitution implemented so that this discrimination can be lowered. First thing, constitution has said that everyone is equal before law. Everyone must follow the law, be it a president or a domestic worker. All are equal before the law and will be treated in same manner. Second, no person can be discriminated based on the race, religion, caste, place of birth, or whether they are male or female. Third, this is everyone has access to all the public places like playground, hotels, shops or markets, etc. No one shall be denied. All persons can use publicly available toilets, wells, roads, bathing ghats. No one shall be debarred from using these public places based on their race, religion, caste, place, status, being male or female. Fourth is intouchability, as abolished by law. Now, no one can behave with the people as if they are untouchables. So, all these policies are framed in the constitution so that our country can become more united and become more strong and developed. When we got freedom, our country was so backward, so through the constitution many laws came into existence so that our country can become more united and more strong and developed. Everyone can get equal opportunity and ultimately country can get best talents to progress. The fathers of the constitution, they drafted the constitution and guided the upcoming government. Now they can take steps to implement equality and bring society at same level. They suggested government to bring equality in two ways. First, by establishing law. Second, by implementing government programs and schemes to the disadvantaged communities. These schemes made sure to give greater opportunity for people who have not had in past. For example, the tribal communities, they don't have enough resources and opportunities that they can survive or develop themselves. So governments were directed to bring such schemes regularly in the interest of disadvantaged or less developed communities. Let's learn about such schemes. One of such schemes was Midday Meal. As the name suggests, midday meaning noon. Under this scheme, students of all the government schools shall be given noon meal in school and that too good quality food. Initially, the scheme was implemented in the state of Tamil Nadu in 2001. Supreme Court directed all the state government to implement the scheme within 6 months all over the India. So this scheme was launched in 2001 all over the India. Let us look at the benefits of the scheme. More children started getting enrolled because of the scheme, and they also started regularly attending the school. Mostly in the rural or government school, it happened that children go to school for the sake of it. So parents ask them to work instead of going there. So due to this scheme, student enrolled increased. Also, children used to come more regularly as school used to provide lunch. One more benefit was earlier the school used to tell children to go home and eat lunch and come back to school. Children used to go home for lunch and never used to return to school. But after this scheme, the attendance after the midday meal it has increased considerably. It also helped reduce caste prejudice since children had to sit together and eat the lunch. They will not have caste prejudice in their mind and they will create equality in future. It helps reduce the hunger of the child and concentrate more on studies. Many children, due to their financial situation, they came hungry to the school and due to the hunger, they are not able to concentrate on studies. But now, due to this scheme, their hunger will be satisfied and they will be able to focus on studies. Due to the policies, there is a great improvement in the education sector, but there continues to be great difference in the country between the school attendance attended by the rich people kids and the school attended by the poor people's kids. Poor kids school has teachers which are not very highly qualified. However, rich kids schools has highly qualified teachers. So somewhere there is difference in the education level between these two. Even today, Dalit and poor students are discriminated. It is because people refuse to think that they are equal even though law requires it and also the God requires it. You can see this discrimination in your day-to-day life. You can see how people treat poorer people when they go to hospitals or any other public places. Even though it is written in the constitution, but establishing them in democracy is continuous struggle. The issue of inequality is not only faced in our country, it is prevailed in many other democratic countries. Many of the countries have had some or the other community which is oppressed by the powerful or other community. For example, if you see Islamic country, you must be thinking it's an Islamic country, it has all the Muslim population, there should not be any inequality in the country. However, that is not the case. There are different sectors amongst them like Shias and Sunnis, etc. And there are many other types in themselves. So there is still inequality there too. Basically, it's a big issue many democratic countries. One more example can be of USA. There are three types of majority community in America. First is Native Americans, second is white people, and third is African Americans. So, the ancestors of African Americans were brought from Africa as slaves to work in America. Hence, the African Americans still live the life of inequality. Prior to 1950, there was unequal treatment of African Americans. There was law of segregation in America. According to this law, white and black people will live separately. Black people cannot access white people resources. So, in late 1950, there was civil rights movement for the equal right of the African Americans. Despite of this, there were discriminations. So let us discuss how this revolution was for equality started. How a revolution starts. What happens is there is a rage and anger which keeps on going on inside the people of particular community due to inequality, and it keeps on increasing due to this unequal behavior, and at some point due to some incident it rage and anger comes out and movement starts. Similarly, civil rights movement started after an incident. Let us learn what happened. There was a lady called Rosa Parks who was African American woman. So prior to the civil rights movement, the law stated that if traveling in bus, the black people will sit at the back of the bus and white people will sit at front. Besides this, if there is no place in the bus to sit and there is a white man or woman standing, a black person should stand up and allow the white people to sit. This was the law there. One evening, Rosa Parks was traveling after work and she was tired and sitting in the bus. No one white person came as the bus seats were full. He asked her to give the seat, but she refused to vacate the seat. This incident triggered a huge agitation in 1955. This agitation started civil rights mass movements against the inequality and was led by big leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, etc. This was huge movement and lasted for many years. Many people lost their lives. They were sent to jail. US government tried its best to suppress this movement, but all failed. Ultimately, in 1964, US government approved and made Civil Rights Act, which says discrimination on the basis of race, religion, national origin is prohibited. Public places were allowed for use of black people too. As per the new law, schools only for Americans were now open for African American people too. They will no longer had to attend separate schools. Problem of separate school was there. No qualified teachers to teach, so they were in no conditions to complete the white with highly qualified educated teachers. So now it will be of great help for the African Americans. Despite of this, the African Americans were not able to access the facilities because major of the people were poor, and due to which they were unable to pay the high fees of the white schools. So majority of the population had to study in government schools, which had poorly qualified teachers and no facilities. Even today, African Americans are majorly poor. The state shall not discriminate against any citizen on the grounds only for religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them. No citizens shall, on the ground only of religion, caste, race, sex, place of birth, or any of them, be subject to any disability liability, restrictions or conditions with regards to access to shop, public restaurant, hotels and places of public entertainment, use of wells, tanks, bathing ghats, roads, places or public resort maintained wholly are particularly out of state fund or dedicated to use of general public. Challenges of democracy. Democracy is a thought or idea. We need to work towards it, this thought or idea. Only documented democracy and its rules and policies are not sufficient. No country can be described as completely democratic. So everyone in the country as well as the society need to continuously work towards this idea of democracy so that we can come over the existing issues of inequality as well as the new issues of inequality as well. It's responsibility of all of us to maintain equality and work together towards complete democracy. So students, I hope you all have understood all the topics in the session. As recommended, do read the textbooks, topics in it, chapters in it, look at the images for references, do write the dictations 5 to 10 times in your notebooks, listen to the videos carefully, read the slides in the videos, look at the reference pictures for better understanding, and we will see you soon in third session of question and answer. Till then, bye and take care.